prevent. It helps, well, it doesn't prevent me making shit, but it helps prevent. I keep wanting to say prevent. Hey guys, welcome back. I know it's been a while. Today we're going to talk about the Jinn. But before we talk about the Jinn, I would like to clarify a few things that may not have been clear in some of the other videos. I want to talk about the difference between supernatural and preternatural. So supernatural is anything that exists outside of nature. There's no possible explanation. There's nothing like this that exists on this world. Something such as vampires or werewolves. Those things are supernatural, right? Now, preternatural means it exists within nature, but it has special abilities that exist outside of the natural realm. A great example of this would be sort of a very skilled musician or sports player, actor, someone who actually exists, but has an ability that can't be explained. I hope that clarification clears that up, because we're going to be talking a little bit about preternatural today. But before we do, remember, if you like the video, If you got some comments or you got some extra information you want to chime in there, feel free to do so in the comments below. And make sure, if you like this content, click that subscribe button. It helps keep making content that you enjoy and like to see. Now that the shameless plug's out of the way, let's go ahead and continue. See, a Jinn is a ghost in Phasmophobia. I think we've pretty much established that. Now, in Phasmophobia, a Jinn is believed to be a territorial ghost that will attack when threatened. Since Phasmophobia doesn't really clarify what a Jinn is like they do with some of the other ones, I'll leave it up to you to determine whether or not a Jinn is actually a ghost that should be used in a paranormal game. So let's get into the nitty-gritty. A Jinn. What is a Jinn? Let's start off with some of the basic information. A Jinn stems from Middle Eastern Islamic belief. It's often confused with the Western term of Genie, yet there's no wishes granted. See, the Western world decided to use the term Genie when they created some of their stories. And this would be a supernatural being that would be able to live in a lamp and grant the person 3 wishes. Now, the actual belief of the Jinn is nowhere near. 90% of what you believe or what you've heard about what a Genie is has no bearing on what a Jinn actually is, and you'll see why. So the Jinn is basically a supernatural being that are very similar to humans in Islamic belief. See, Islam sees beings as 2 distinct types. You're either a believer in God or a non-believer in God. See, they don't believe Jinn are either good nor evil. They take them for what they are, which is an actual interesting aspect. They may not be good nor bad as long as they accept the word of God. Now, the Jinn are unlike many other beings and are more similar to humans under Islamic folklore. See, in Islamic belief, God created 4 types of beings. God created angels, which also stems into devils and demons. They believe God also created Jinn, man, and animals, plants. The curious thing about that belief system, 2 out of the 4 are able to exercise free will. See, Jinn are believed to be like human beings, that we are able to both choose for ourselves, to decide where our future goes. But the similarities don't just end there, as you'll find out. See, a Jinn could be seen as something similar to a ghost or a spirit, since Jinn don't actually have a physical body within this plane of existence. They believe they're stuck in another realm of existence. However, they are still able to influence this plane, make choices, do different deeds, etc., etc. And while the exact origins of where Jinn come from are unclear, we'll discuss some of the more basic ones. Now, the first origin story that we'll discuss is that they believe that Jinn started as malevolent spirits that were in the desert or in unclean places, and they took on an animal form, and that's where they live. Another origin story is that others believe that Jinn were made by God using smokeless fire and lived on the earth for thousands upon thousands of years. But because of the deeds that they've done, whether they were praised to be deities or put on the same level as God, God ordered their destruction and ordered the angels to attack the Jinn by being locked away in this other realm. In this other realm, they can only exist as shadows. And there's a lot to break down in that story, right? But the actual aspect of how these beings would be explained as they're more preternatural would make more sense. That they were actual beings or materialistic beings that existed on this realm who were moved to another realm by God based on some sort of event that may or may not have happened. This creates a wide range of belief and misconception of what a Jinn actually is. So let's kind of break down what we know from the official folklore. Is that Jinn are very similar to man. They must eat, drink, sleep, fall in love, breed to have more Jinn. They have free will. They can choose to worship God or to not worship God. A Jinn is not some all-powerful being or super powerful being in the fact that a man is able to kill a Jinn. See, a Jinn is believed to be a mortal being that exists on this earth. They're not believed to be immortal, but they do have some special abilities. Some of their special abilities could include things like turning invisible or shape-shifting into another form. But because they are believed to not have a physical form, the confusion between what a ghost is and what a Jinn is can be blurred, since they are very human-like and they don't have a physical body. That pretty much meets the definition of what most people believe a ghost is. In fact, if you really wanted to get crazy, let's get crazy. Let's get wild, right? For a second. Let's blow all logic out of the water. Okay? Jinn could almost be explained as an alien being. They're not very far off from a sort of extraterrestrial being, and by what they are explaining. Jinn are actually some of the most interesting beings that you could probably read about because of the fact that they are extremely similar to just being another species, which makes a Jinn very interesting, to say the least. It's a very interesting concept. Jinns can be good or bad, or neither. They could just simply exist as the majority of us human beings do. It doesn't make a great tale to tell kids at night to keep them in bed or listening to mom and dad. And it doesn't make a good movie, but the reality of the situation is that they're just another being. With that being said, that's up to you now. Is it actually a ghost, or is it something else? Or is it even aliens, as some people might even claim? You be this judge. Thank you guys for taking this trip with me. I really appreciate it. We're going to be back at it. I'm going to have a ton of new folklore things. We're going to finish up the Phasmophobia. We're going to hit Europe in the next one. Try and hit all the ghosts all at once. And then we're going to start going into other games and more specific types of beings. Guys, thank you. And if you liked the video, please like the video. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. Or say what you didn't like in the comments. I'd appreciate any feedback. And also, if you do like it, please hit subscribe. It helps let me know what's going on, what you're enjoying, what you're not enjoying, so we can focus more on what you're enjoying and less of what you don't. Hope you guys learned something. I wanted to present it on this one. This was a very eye-opening research project. Thank you guys again. I hope you have a great day and be safe out there.